I saw a headline or a quote from an article or something that said like a younger generation is quiet hoarding. I think they called it like quiet hoarding, like quiet quitting, right? Except it's people who don't update their iPhone. They don't upgrade as soon as a new one comes out. And that is being framed as a failure on our part because we are supposed to keep this company in business, I guess, is our moral imperative now. Like the corporate personhood has gone too far. Hey friends, welcome back to the Neurodivergent Creative. It is December. How is it? It was like just August. I don't know. I distinctly remember as a child, like time passed slower. It seems like shit just moves so fast as an adult. And I think maybe it's because like there's not natural sort of like break times and like the structure of school. This is not an episode about that, but that's how I'm feeling because I'm looking at the calendar and it's December 2nd and I'm like, but how though? Also, I think I want to like stop thinking of these as episodes and call them like vlogs or gab sessions. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to do with YouTube, honestly, because like I like making videos. I like interacting with people in the comments. Sometimes people don't understand me and that's fine. I either block them if they're being nasty or I just like don't reply to them and that's fine. All of that part is pretty fine. But like, what am I doing? What is my purpose here? What do I hope to do when people follow me and watch my videos? And I guess I hope to be like inspiring. So like in school, right? You start, it's the fall, it's like the end of August. And then like we get a day off for Labor Day. Cool. And then there's usually like a fall break kind of a thing. And like maybe October, there's like a long weekend or something. You know, there's a teacher in service. There's an early release day somewhere in there. And then in like November, we usually get like a long weekend for Thanksgiving. And then in December, there's like 2 weeks off that cover Christmas and New Year's. And that is awesome for a kid who is like in school and schools. You know, I liked school because I was a weird nerd, but a lot of kids don't love going to school. They don't like having to sit and learn stuff all day. Meanwhile, that is like my dream life. I would love to sit and learn stuff all day. And actually, I signed up for Khan Academy and I started taking an art history class and that's been making me happy. So that's a tiny joy. Khan Academy is free. And they do have like an AI assistant, which I'm not a fan of. They were like, Khan GPT will help you learn stuff. And I'm like, no, thanks. I prefer to do that with my brain. And I feel like you should too, Khan Academy, but that's fine. I'm not here to talk about Khan Academy. I'm here to talk about so much stuff. Anyway, that's how I think like the passage of time is marked. Like as children, it's like a school year thing. So like as the weather gets colder, you know, you're about to get like a nice 2-week break. And then we're in January, we get a spring break in March. And then like between spring break and summer, like that's like a home stretch. I don't have that anymore. I think I'm going to need to make that for myself. That might help. I'm trying to design a planner by the end of the month so that I can sell a 2026 planner. And so far in this planner, I have things like maintain your habitat, right? So it's like, it's got reminders of things that you should do every month, like replace the air filter in your furnace and clean the filter in your dishwasher and stuff that we don't think about because we have ADHD and we're like, I didn't know that we were supposed to do that. So that's a way to just like keep track and be like, oh, when was the last time I did it? You can go look and you can be like, oh shit, we haven't done that since February. We should do it for sure. And then there's a page for like writing down all of your major doctor's appointments, etc. I'm trying to do like the ADHD proper care and feeding of your year. And so there's a mix of like sort of manifesty, like journal-y vibes, practical, just like here is a weekly planner vibes. And then like these like very practical sort of like bullet journal spreads almost, except they are pre-made. And I love that for us. And then each month has like a breakdown of like daily habits. So those are like, there's a food, water, meds check. So like, did you eat? Good job. Check it off. Check the box. Did you drink water that day? Like, and you can set your own minimums. And I don't know why I'm pitching you this planner because it doesn't exist yet, but I will work on it. And I will work on it harder if you tell me you want to see it. So please encourage me to finish my planner. Right now, it's just sort of like it's like the passion project where when I have energy to do something, but I don't know what to work on, I'm like, I can work on the planner. That's a good solution. So that's where I'm at with that. I don't know if I've announced on here yet that I am not taking one-on-one coaching clients for the foreseeable and indefinite future. I am adjusting back into working outside of the home. So I have a part-time job. Right now it's only 2 days a week, but in January that's going to go up to 3 days a week, leaving me 2 days to work on business stuff. So that is like admin, client-facing things, anything at all. All my marketing has to be done in those 2 days if I want to keep a weekend. I could also work on Saturdays if I wanted. The flexibility is there. When you have a business, you need to meet your needs, both financially, which my business was not because I was having some mental health issues there. We're on the way up out of that hole, but it was a hole for a while. And sales were not up. I didn't sell a lot of packages and programs this past year. I did the 6-month marketing incubator. That was a lot of fun. But it also led me to realize that I'm not fulfilled by teaching marketing the way I am fulfilled by coaching writers. And so that helped me decide that moving forward, I'm going to focus on Working Title Writing Incubator. Maybe it'll get a new name in the future. For now, it's still just Working Title, which is a working title. And I kind of love that. It's beautiful. Anyway, so I will be working with clients in Working Title. There are 12 spots, 2 are filled. So there are still 10 spots remaining. I have 2 or 3 people who are interested and we're talking about it and they've got questions and stuff, but there's still plenty of time to join. I am going to cut that off at the end of December though, so that I can have the week between Christmas and New Year off and I'm not going to be marketing hard that week. So I'm going to try and wrap that up beforehand. So if you would like to write a book, I highly encourage you to book a discovery call with me so that we can talk about your book and if Working Title is a good fit for you. It's not a good fit for everybody. And that is something that I will go into on my AuthorTube, not BookTube, it's Book Talk, AuthorTube. My AuthorTube, which I still have not started. But we'll see what I can do. See what I can do with that. All right. Now, to my topic of the day, I would like to talk about Christmas presents. And I have many thoughts. My number one thought is I'm going to tell you what happened when my partner asked me what I want for Christmas. So we live in a 4-person household, just me and my partner, and then his college roommate. So they have lived together for the last 15 years. Pretty significant. And then their friend from college who needed a place when we were looking for a place. And so got in on buying this house with us. So the 4 of us share the responsibility for the house. It's pretty great. Honestly, I have now lived with these people longer than I have ever lived with a spouse. So I'm doing pretty good. That makes me feel pretty good. Also, I think maybe having 4 people helps me not fall into the, I'll just pick up all the slack kind of thing, because I can just sit on the couch and be like, can somebody do the dishes? I can't look at them anymore. And somebody will get up and go do the dishes. And it's amazing. Also, I have learned to ask for stuff like that. And very slowly, it was slow. It's better now. I'm coming to the understanding that I'm not supposed to do it all myself. Whereas in both of my marriages in the past, the idea was you take care of the house, wife. And so I took care of the house and I was unhappy with that because it's not fair. So I'm in a much more equitable domestic labor home. For instance, my partner's college roommate, he has a timer or a reminder on his phone. And the first of every month, he cleans out the dishwasher filter and replaces the air filter, which is how I knew I should put that in my planner. I'm oh, yeah, that's really good. That's good looking out. And he's the type of person who can set a reminder and then actually follow through on that reminder when it appears. And I love that for him. I don't think he has ADHD. And that just seems so peaceful and nice. Seems like you can do anything you want to if you just write it down and then look at that thing later. I write things down and then it's you thought you were going to come back to this. And sometimes I do. And sometimes it takes 3 to 6 business months. And that's fine. So Christmas, we're all sitting around, we're talking about what we want for Christmas. And I said that I would like a new set of like curl and color friendly shampoo and conditioner. And I wanted like a full like skincare. I wanted to re-up on all my skincare stuff because I'm at the point where I'm squeezing the moisturizer bottle and like barely getting anything out. So I need new moisturizer, especially because I finally met my partner's mother and she has no wrinkles. And she looks maybe 40 and I am terrified of looking old and haggard next to her son who will apparently age very gracefully. So I need to moisturize, and that's what's going on. So, I want I think I have toner for the year. I don't know. I want my skincare. So I was like, I want hair and skin stuff. And my partner goes, well, like, that's just stuff that you need. Like, we'll just get that. So what do you want for Christmas? And then I thought about it and I was like, oh, I want us all to sit down and do our wills because I get anxious because the house is technically in the roommate's name and I have anxiety. So every single time he leaves the house, I worry that he's going to die in a car accident. Just anxiety things. And like right now, if he were to die, it would go to his mother because that's just sort of like how next of kin works. And I don't like that. I think that we should talk about it and plan and be like, what happens to our home that we all contribute to if the person on the mortgage is incapacitated? It's a serious thing and it's not sexy to think about. It's not amazing to be like, hey, we're all in our mid-30s. Let's talk about death. But like, it's really important to have an estate plan, even if you are young. Like if you have any kind of asset, if you have a life insurance policy, if you own a home, even if you own a car, like if you own stuff and you want to tell that stuff where to go, you have to write that down. Like you have to make a will. And honestly, it sounds boring and frustrating. And so we haven't done it because the other three of us do have ADHD and that doesn't sound fun. So I think I'm going to have to make it fun, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll give all of us M&Ms as like a little potty training tree. Like you did it. You get a gold star. Who knows? We'll deal with it. And that everybody was like, that is also not a Christmas gift. Like that's just something that we need to do practically as adults who live in our home. And so then they were all like, so what do you want for Christmas? And God, I think I came up with like one or two more things that were just like to-do list items. And then finally I said, I want a tattoo. But then later I decided that I want the hot pink Barbie phone. So this kind of now does lead back into what I wanted to talk about like consumerism around Christmas and like the overall enshittification of stuff and this culture of buying things. I saw a headline or a quote from an article or something that said like Gen Z, or maybe it was millennials, but a younger generation is, what do they call quiet hoarding? I think they called it like quiet hoarding. Like quiet quitting, right? Except it's people who don't update their iPhone. They don't upgrade as soon as a new one comes out. And that is being framed as a failure on our part because we are supposed to keep this company in business, I guess, is our moral imperative now. Like the corporate personhood has gone too far. It used to be a time where if you couldn't sell your shit to people, you lost all your money and you had to close your business, right? And now we have things like bailouts where the airline companies, if they're losing money, the government's like, well, airlines are important. So here's some money to bolster this industry so that you can keep operating because air travel is important. And it's happening with the AI boom, which will soon be a crash, I fear, is like all of these companies. We got Microsoft, we got Meta, we got fucking Elon Musk's Grok nonsense. We have all of these like AI companies that are taking water from communities, like driving up electricity and water and other utility costs because of how much infrastructure it takes to cool these fucking data centers. Like, these things are bad for the environment. They are bad for people. But because we value the corporation more than we value human life, we're like, well, yeah, no, like the electricity bills just go up for people because the data centers need a financial break. They need a financial bailout because people aren't adapting to the new technology. That's because the new technology sucks and is destroying the planet. Like, do you see yourself? The entitlement. It's so funny because millennials were we grew up hearing you're entitled millennials. And like, these companies are real entitled though. Like, why are you entitled to buy up all this real estate and then waste water and like jack up the price of living in like small towns, rural areas, especially because they need a bunch of land to make these data centers? We don't need that. We don't need this. And it's being treated like it is an inevitable next step in technology. And it's not. It's something that a bunch of billionaires put money into, and now they're mad that we're not buying it. So it's getting shoved into everything. Prices are being raised. Like Canva tried to raise their prices at the beginning of last year. They were like, oh, your Teams membership is going to go up to $100 per team member. And this is to cover the cost of all these amazing new features like Canva AI. I don't use Canva AI, Canva. I don't care about this. In fact, if you had an option that was like, pay extra to get AI, I would be very happy down here at don't give me any AI. But they're trying to force it upon people. And that is just one example. Another example is cell phones. Smartphones are not designed to last. Like computers that are like towers are big and kind of unwieldy because they are designed for people to be able to open them up and modify them. They're designed for you to be able to take it apart and be like, oh, I can add more storage, or I can switch out my graphics card. And you can do that because this is a big bulky thing and it has space for you to move around. Laptops used to also be like kind of chunky. And then the thinner technology gets, the less accessible it is for the user to get in there and make repairs. Things are not being built to be repaired anymore. They are being built to basically die in a couple of years to force you to buy a new one. The thing is, we're not being paid buy a new iPhone every 2 years money. We are not being paid, I can afford my electricity bill with this new data center money. And the corporations and the government sometimes even is like, well, why aren't people behaving the way they're supposed to? I cannot comprehend this quiet hoarding thing of being like, people are hanging on to their devices for too long. No, people are buying something and making it last as long as possible. That's what you do. That's what you do when you're poor. That's what you do when you are working class, middle class. We can't be buying new shit all the time. My God. So anyway, I asked for the hot pink Barbie phone because it is a flip phone. And it doesn't have any apps. It's not a smartphone. And I am terrified, but also very excited to try and go back to that life. I want to go back before I had an iPhone. And I still obviously have my iPhone, and I will use my iPhone to like record things and upload them to Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Like I'll use it as a work tool. But I think I really want to bring my like everyday usage of the smartphone way down. Way down, because like I heard something, I just feel like it was in like a random video I was watching, like just somebody mentioned that like people have online personas first, like, oh no, that in the 2020s we became like an online first kind of like personality. Like everything that we do, we think about how we're going to post it online, how it's going to look online. And we are like curating our actual like waking lives to become social media content. And I see myself doing that. Like as soon as I heard that phrase, like online first persona, I felt kind of icky. I was like, I don't want that. But to not be that, you have to be participating in your life away from social media. Like I just need to touch more grass. And so I am now going to touch digital grass by switching to a hot pink flip phone that looks like a Motorola Razr a little bit. Maybe we can find a photo. Maybe I can get like an affiliate commission. I'll be like, if I get 10 people to buy the Barbie flip phone, will you give me one for free? No, because then I wouldn't have anything left to ask for Christmas. But that's that. So I asked for the Barbie phone. And then I told sort of like each individual person in the household, like what I would like from them. So like I told one person that I wanted a rock tumbler, like off of Facebook Marketplace, like $20, $30 rock tumbling kit that somebody bought for their kids and their kids used it once and then they were like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want that rock tumbling kit because I have like a lot of gemstones and some of them are like rough. Like this is a rose quartz, but it's like very rough. And I want to see if I can get it like polished and shiny. And the best way to do that is to put it in a can and shake it around with some grit. So that sounds Christmassy to me. Put it in a can, shake it around with some grit. And then I'm going to ask our roommate's girlfriend for like something related to crystals, like a crystal identification book, or maybe just like take me to buy some shiny rocks. I don't really care. Last year, she got me this pretty agate crescent moon and I really like it. And also this, it's like a black amethyst, like a super, super dark amethyst crystal. If you're just listening on the audio podcast, I'm so sorry. You should go to YouTube to see my pretty rocks. I have beautiful rocks to show you. So that's what I want for Christmas. And it's so hard to like, I don't know, as a person who has had trouble asking for what I want, as a person who has never really been able to like ask for something luxurious without being shamed for it. Like one year I wanted a class ring, like from college, you know, they have the little catalog and they're like, get your class ring. It's the most important thing you'll ever buy. It is not, but I wanted one, right? I'm 21. I want a pretty ring that has my, you know, my graduation year on it. Cause that's so cool, man. Like, look, I look back at this and I'm like, that was not the most important thing, but I was begging my parents for it. I'm like, won't you split the cost? Please, I really want a class ring. And they were both like, well, that's stupid. You don't need to spend money on that. And so like, I grew up, I did get my class ring, by the way. I put in $100 and then each of my parents split the rest of it. It was like a $350 ring, which in the world of a 21-year-old is a lot of money, but in the world of jewelry is pretty low. There's more expensive jewelry out there. But at the time, that was like the fanciest, most expensive piece of jewelry I owned. And I really cherished it. I loved it. But I had to like ask and ask and ask because it was like frivolous, because it wasn't something that was going to matter. And so I learned like, don't ask for stuff unless you really need it. And so I asked for like paint and a new wallet or a new purse, like things that I could use a new one of for a practical purpose, but like, I'm probably going to just wear out the purse that I have until it breaks, you know, because I grew up with like wear it till it's worn out and then you replace it kind of a thing. Like we did not have a lot of money. We shopped at Goodwill mostly. And then like when my mom did like have more disposable income, like later in her career, after she had had a few promotions and all this, like she had the money to be like, what do you really want? Like, well, let's go nuts. And I never quite adjusted to being able to ask for like specific things without like a justification. And so it's a little foreign to me to just have like a wish list of things that you want just because you want them. And I'm working on that. I'm 37. I feel like I should be able to want things, but I have trouble like receiving. I feel like, oh, you shouldn't have. I feel guilty. Like one year, I asked for this weighted stuffed animal and it has like weighted like arms that like you put over your back. And so it's supposed to feel like a hug, like a weighted stuffed animal hug. And I really like it, but I don't use it all the time because it's like, it like tilts my chin up with like the bunny's head here or whatever. And so like now it just sort of like sits with some other stuffed animals on my shelf. And I'm like, I feel guilty that I asked for that and then I don't use it every day. So clearly I have a lot of drama and trauma around gifts. And that's fine. I'll work on that with Jared. But like in the meantime, what do you want for Christmas? You know, because I don't want something that's cheap or like just sort of like mass produced crap. I don't want a candle from Bath and Body Works. Like if you're going to get me a candle, I want a nice candle. We actually went to a craft show and I saw some candles that I really liked. They smelled good and they were really beautifully like contained. Like they had a really pretty like jar container or like a really pretty like thing with a lid. And so I told my partner, I said, I want one of these 3 candles for Christmas and I'm going to walk away so that you can buy one. And I think he bought the big one that was the prettiest. And I'm really excited about that. But that was like very rare for me. I even felt bad doing that. Like I felt selfish saying like, I want this, buy this for me. And then I just like wandered away and bought something else for myself. Got myself a necklace and like a little ceramic dish, and a bookmark at that craft fair. And I spent like $80, and then I had a little meltdown over spending $80 on myself. Cool. I think my pink flip phone is $80. Trying to find like the website that sells it, like the company that sells it. And I had to go through like 5 sponsored listings from Amazon or eBay or buy it here, buy it here. I love it. It's so pink. It has a camera. I don't think it has a very good camera, which I kind of also love. Like it's just going to feel like 2009, and I'm really excited about it. How much does this cost? It has an FM radio and an MP3 player, which also leads into the fact that I'm trying to get back into physical media because I'm mad at streaming apps. Like I'm mad at Spotify, but that is where all of my music is. And so now I'm like, I'm going to go to yard sales and thrift stores and just find CDs that I used to listen to and find music that I want to listen to. And then I will burn those CDs to my computer and save them as MP3 files. And then I will listen to this limited amount. I'm already feeling so much more peaceful at the idea of not constantly just having the whole internet available to me at any moment. So if you are also having difficulty deciding what you want for Christmas or whatever gift-giving occasion you have this holiday season, because it's not just about Christmas. We're not even really a Christian household. We're all like raised variously Christian, except me, actually. I think I'm the only one who like did not go to church as a kid. I was raised by heathens. So yeah, like we're all just sort of social Christmas observers because like that's what we were raised in. But like, let's be very real. There are so many holidays in this season. There's Yule, there is Kwanzaa, there is Hanukkah. Hanukkah actually not a major Jewish holiday, but because of its like proximity to Christmas, it has been made into like yet another like consumerist version of a holiday. So sorry to all my Jewish friends that your low-key Hanukkah celebrations got turned into consumerist Christmas culture. Just a reminder, we are no longer shopping at Target. Don't shop at Target. Last time I shopped at Target was January of this year because they had the best price on a walker. And my sister and I were buying a walker for our dad as he was recovering from heart surgery. So like we just needed the best price and next day shipping, and that was where it was from. So I don't feel bad about that. I do also feel really, really good about not setting foot in a Target for the rest of the year, digitally or physically. Fuck Target. But yeah, think about what you want for Christmas or whatever. Ask for real things that you really, really want. If you are not somebody who wants a lot of stuff, because like, you know, as we become adults, we can kind of buy the stuff that we want for ourselves anyway. If you have trouble like asking for stuff because you are used to buying whatever stuff it is that you want because you're a grown adult with your own money, ask for experiences. Ask for like charitable contributions, maybe a membership to a zoo or aquarium, or like tickets to see an orchestra perform and like the profits go to charity or something. You know, you can like work your values into the Christmas gifts so that the person giving you the gift can feel like they got something meaningful and thoughtful for you. And you don't have to get a Bath and Body Works candle and find a place to put it in your house. And you can also like be specific and practice asking for things that you would like. That is my Christmas wish for you. Okay. I love you. Stay warm. Be awesome. And join the Creatives Rebellion. It is my Patreon community. We do a monthly workshop. This month we are going to be making vision boards to plan for 2026. It's super low key. We're mostly going to use Canva, but if you have magazines and stuff in your house, we can also do like physical ones. But because not everybody has piles of magazines like Caitlin, you're not all freaks like me. We will be doing them digitally in Canva as well. And you can join the Rebellion for as little as $3 a month. I recommend the mycelium category. It is $9 per month. And that is just sort of my baseline. Hey, if you've got $9, this is start here. The $3 amount is more like, hey, like if you want to support, but you literally don't have $9, but you still want to support, then it's $3. And tiers go all the way up to like $50 a month. So choose your adventure. Everybody gets the same benefits. You get the monthly workshop. You get a shout out in the credits. Also, it's December, so I need to record a new shout out. What else we get? We get bonus episodes of the podcast when I have extra things to say. So it's not every episode, but I do occasionally, like at least once a month, you will get some bonus podcast content in there. And probably various other things. that I'm not thinking of right now. Anyway, love you. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a great month of December. And I'll see you next week. Bye.
They'll change your approach and tell you a joke to lighten your load and help you along or sing you a song. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.